Good day, good day, good day, sweet cheeks, and welcome to another episode of Between the Cheeks. So, this is in fact my first solo episode ever. I've had a glass of wine. I've actually shot this twice, 1 hour each, maybe more. I'm close to a mental breakdown, so the zen space I was hoping for when going into this was not there. But this is just me being overly honest. Whatever. We are in December, so none of it matters anymore. We are just moving and we will get through it until we get into next year. If this video dies beforehand, makes sense. I can't afford to buy a new battery. One day is one day, but I am grateful for every opportunity I've been given. I am grateful for everything this podcast has given thus far. You don't even fully know it yet, but there's just been so much positive feedback from like all angles, and I am beyond grateful. There's been so much I've learned this year. There's been so much I've tried to do this year. There's not a lot of things that I succeeded at. Okay, there's a lot of things I succeeded at, but there's also a lot of things that just didn't happen for me that I really thought it was my time. There's been a lot of lessons learned this year. I guess I could say that for certain. So I thought maybe I would just give 12 lessons to kick off December, 12 lessons that I learned this year that maybe will help you next year, maybe will help you in this month. I don't know, but let's get into it. Lesson number 1. I'm going to miss things, and that is okay. So what does that mean? I think I grew up as a kid always with the fear of missing out on things. I thought that I wasn't included. As I moved throughout life, I started to get included in more things to the point that I really think I started to excel socially. And I think that was an achievement in itself, especially for younger Zoe, who never really felt like she had a space. And then it got too much. And then going out started to become a burden, and socializing felt like anxiety because what if this was not the right place to be? Maybe I should have rather canceled the other thing and come here, or whatever. There are so many things like that and moments like that that I have experienced that have made me two-minded on what's the best choice. And I've gotten to a point this year where I've come to realize that as long as I'm chasing my purpose, everything will be okay. If you look at my family, there are so many moments where I'm upset at myself or anxious that I've missed a meal that I know I would have enjoyed with them, or there's an inside joke that I don't know yet, and if I was there, I would have known. There are so many moments like that. I know I have so many friends who are overseas. Is there a bug in here? How did a bug get in here? There are so many friends that are overseas right now, and part of me wants to be overseas too. I definitely feel a calling to go, which is also why I wanted to do this podcast, because I thought if this ever gets legs, if it ever gets wings, then I could do this independently from anyone else. This could be something I do all in its own. But these are big dream things, and maybe we'll never get to there. Maybe this will lead down a different path. I don't know. But along those lines, I definitely see a version of myself that would love to be in a different country, a different space in the world, learning something new. I love to travel. But then there's also the part of the guilt of what if this is the wrong choice? What if this isn't going to bring me happiness in terms of being with my family and my friends? And what if it's just wrong? And I think as long as you are moving with purpose, you are aligned with your ultimate dreams and goals and execution of that, I think you will be okay. Lesson number 2. I'll state it from the top. I get paid for my social media use. It doesn't feel the same when I am online to how I think a lot of people are consuming content. My dad, for instance, he started TikTok this year for the first time. And he is obsessed. He will be late at night on his phone, early in the mornings, while we're all on the couch, he will be on his phone, earphones in, and that has never been him. He used to be the one making fun of me because I'm always on my phone. But my phone use always felt intentional and in a different way. So I don't know how your media consumption works. I think it differs person to person and algorithm to algorithm. I'm very interested to see what all this brain rot causes in years to come, because I think now it's starting to impact like the 60s to 50s generations. There's a lot more old people who are behaving like I think our parents thought we behaved in like the 2010s and such, but it's different. It feels different. I feel like we've been trained and we're bored. We know the difference, but I think our parents are starting to get consumed, and that's something I've looked at this year and I think learned this year. So be kind to your brain, touch grass, go do more. I did the Heart FM Traffic Idol competition, and I think that's what brought a lot of people to my page. And it was a beautiful experience in that it opened doors for me that I didn't think it would open along the course of where I wanted to go in life. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to MC for SA Rugby if not for that experience. But that experience gave me so much anxiety. I won't lie to you. I didn't feel like I was ever on air the version of myself that I thought I could give to people. Not like there were snippets and then the experience was over. And I was nervous throughout it. And it's like a first date, you know, with someone who's really hot. That happened to me this year. I went on a date with someone who was really, really hot. Oh my goodness. And I wasn't myself at all throughout the entire date. And I thought to myself, dang, okay, this is the version of me that they're going to be stuck with. And the same goes for the radio thing, I suppose. I was a version of myself that I didn't feel complete about, but that's not really the point. So I was in that competition and I was terrified, and I got advice from a very good friend of mine, also a big figure in the radio space, Carl Westy, I appreciate you. He told me that if you're feeling scared, you're not prepared enough. And I don't know, not just in that competition, but in everything I do in this life. It changed how I looked at things, how I approached things. From my TV presenting to this podcast, I knew that I could give the best possible content and entertainment if I researched, if I studied, if I learned audiences, if I learned the audience I was looking for, if I look what other podcasters are doing, everything I have trained for. And not even just in that space, but also in the global sphere of things I enjoy. Rugby, learning how to comment on rugby is something I started doing last year. I would watch after work, I would put on rugby and just listen to them speak. Everything that I didn't know, I'd write down and I'd study. I'd look at the rule books. I joined rugby and I've still been doing rugby. Yes, because I'm good at it and I enjoy it, but also because I know that there is a gap in the market in terms of women in rugby who genuinely have experience in rugby and not just a passion for sports in general that comment. There's not a lot of commentators who are women because of the fact that it's not taught at grassroots level. So what then of me in 3 years, 5 years, whenever? Rugby, actually, I feel like I joined at the perfect time, because now look at rugby at the global level. Look at Ilona Meher. That's actually my next point. I think I'm just going to flow through my lessons right now because I can see my battery dying. I obviously didn't give it enough time, and I'm conscientious of that to redo, but I wasn't going to shoot this another day. I knew I could do this today. I did my makeup today. We're going to get it done. If I black out, just know the camera died and I didn't get to fulfill the dream. But if you look at Ilona Meher, she in this year became, during the Olympics, she became the most followed rugby player in the world. Beating Siya Kolisi, beating Anton Dupont. They were the top two. And within the Olympics, nixed them. How crazy is that? How crazy to know that a woman is taking ownership of the sphere of rugby. And then, she's American. Okay. That's not the best part. She goes and joins Dancing with the Stars. I don't actually watch Dancing with the Stars, but I was obsessed with her content because I saw a woman who was not only physically strong, but who showed off elegance, who was sexy, who owned her strength, her muscles, her body. I looked at all of that and I said to myself, why can't I be like that? And then I was like, Zoe, you are like that. That's exactly who you are. And this is the rise. Your next lesson, the rise is coming for women who own their bodies. I was watching Dancing with the Stars and thinking to myself, oh, if I was a little girl and sporty, this would be my dream. And then I was like, Zoe Human, how much has society changed you to think that you weren't sporty? Because I think a lot of people used to tell me I was fat, and I used to associate that with a lack of strength. I was bigger. And that's the most beautiful thing I've learned from rugby, is that as much as I may be bigger, there is a space for me. There is a space for all body types in rugby. And that is something pretty freaking incredible. But Zoe Human, you quit judo because of the fact there was no one in your weight and age group who you could compete with anymore and it'd be fair. You went to zonal trials for shot put. You broke your primary school shot put record. You have always been strong. Team sports just wasn't where you could be, because growing up for women, team sports are only for skinny, tall, fast girls, and that's not what I was. My strengths is strength. And it's very difficult to be a woman and explore that at a grassroots level. So it is amazing. It is amazing what people are doing now for rugby at a youth level for women, for little girls. And I can't wait to see what it does in the long haul. I'm so excited to see the strong women that come out of this world feeling good about being strong and owning their identity. That's what I'm looking forward to. Lesson number 5. Do I want community, or do I want to build community? And this was definitely something that came out of the heart competition, because of the fact that I have never in my life been so scrutinized by people. I was terrified. Like I said, I was saying words wrong because you can hardly breathe in the moment, because you know there's however many hundreds of thousands of people listening to you, and this is going to be put online for everyone to see and comment on, and you are a topic. You are not a person offering experiences anymore. You are a topic. And that was hard for me. I still remember I was seeing someone at the time, and I went out with him after the competition, and I was like, I never expected to be scrutinized like this. And she was like, didn't you know that this was what was going to happen? I was like, no. Throughout my life, I have always fostered an environment with people where I could say without a shadow of a doubt that this is a safe space where people can be who they are and they will not be hate. Yeah, maybe behind closed doors, there'll be a little bit of skinner. But in the long term, we are people, and we will treat each other with the dignity that we deserve. We will not make a person feel small, and that was what a lot of the competition felt like to me. I didn't want to look at comments. My mom, obsessed with the comments, looking at everything. No, did you see this? Did you see this comment? Obviously, I haven't told people as well now, oh, by the way, now, I am colored. Please bear that in mind. I know this is a station that loves POCs. I know I don't look it, but this is what I am. And I think I've always had that struggle in terms of community and having a sense of community, because guys, I am very aware that I am light skinned. I am aware of that privilege. I am aware of the fact that I went to a school that was predominantly white. It was a private school. I didn't have very close ties to the rest of my family growing up. So that sense of community was not there. It's so challenging to feel a sense of identity in something that you know you belong to and culturally you know you are a part of, but that you're just missing it somehow. And that's what I felt, and that's what I feared in this competition, that people would think I'm white and then associate it with something else. And I mean, in the South Africa we live in, I think you can't not see color. You have to identify it. And what do I look like? I don't know. But that was definitely a fear. Maybe a little bit less deep. Something I learned this year was that people can see that you viewed their profile on TikTok, and I need answers TikTok. I know I have connections there, and if you guys watch my podcast, I need answers. Why can people see when I've seen their account, but when they come to my page, I can't see the Lolo? I can see in the Between the Cheeks pod. Please give us a follow, by the way. I can see when people view that, but that's not what I care about. I mean, I care about that, but I care about who's looking at my own cack. And now, the fact that I never knew this, going to all my past crushes, do you know how you play back all the accounts you've looked at, the people that you had crushes on, you went to their TikTok to watch stuff? I've blocked a girl because I wanted to talk about like our date with a friend on my TikTok and I didn't want her to see. Do you know how many things I now need to put under scrutiny? And that is a lesson I learned. So if you didn't know that, I thought you deserved the truth. Okay. Don't put your happiness on hold. I beg you, do not put your happiness on hold. I am doing this podcast because of the fact that if I waited another year, another month, another second, and the podcast market in South Africa became any more saturated, I knew in 2017 that podcasts were the future. I knew that, and I still did nothing. I said, let me break into this market early. Same with TikTok. I joined TikTok early because I knew the potential of the app to grow. And then it did in COVID. Why didn't I do the same with my podcast? Because I lacked intentionality, because I couldn't be consistent, because I feared consistency and what people would think of me if I really gave a fuck about this. That's what I feared. And this is me telling you right now, one glass in. I think my other podcast episodes that I attempted to do with this topic wasn't as good. Now, actually, the wine helped. I'm not gonna lie. Don't put your happiness on hold. That is the lesson to take away from this. I pray in your relationships, in your workspace, in your dreams. Life is so short. There are so many people that have passed away this year, way before their time, because of fluke accidents, because of careless decisions. This is not the moment to put yourself second. You've got to live for you. And if you end your days thinking to yourself, dang, I wish I did that. Oh God, how would it have panned out if I actually pursued this? I would have won a SAFTA, a BAFTA, an Oscar, an Emmy. You will never know until you know. And I think that is the scariest thing. If I were to never try and I could have succeeded, that would have messed me up. Okay, lesson number 10. Your dreams are beautiful. You owe them execution. Dear God, you owe your dreams execution. I don't think there's much more to say about that. I got that quote from Florence Given, and honestly, I have lived that, and I hope you live that too. You will get bored of anything, so what's going to keep you pushing? When I was younger, I dreamed of being on TV, just as a little feature. Like, oh, I hope you see me on camera. My next dream was to host on TV. Next dream, paid to host on TV. Because, I mean, a lot of people like influencers, they don't do that. Then, to win an award. These goals need to constantly be changing and growing and moving to the next one. Because I can tell you right now, I got nervous when I first auditioned to be on TV. But now I flow. I know what I'm doing. And that's the beautiful thing. And the thing that messed me up with radio as well, because I thought to myself, but you do TV so easily. Why are you so scared? Because I was pushing myself. I was pushing myself to do something that I wanted and wanted to do well. And that's what you need to do. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. I actually skipped a couple of pages. I was worried my battery was going to die. If anyone wants to compensate me with a battery for my Canon camera, that would be very much appreciated. Next rule. Everyone is a Casper until proven otherwise. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Because have I not dated so many people this year, got invested, had people initiate conversations about building a farm together, what animals we'd have. Someone saying to me, oh, Zoe, I would so want to be with you if I was ready to be in a relationship. And then, Ganti, do I not see a few months ago that they are now in a committed relationship? People lie. It has become increasingly common and obvious that everyone sucks and everyone's a liar. And I am holding out for someone who's truthful and who's honest and who wants what I want from this life, and I know I'm gonna find them. But I'm shoveling through manure right now. The kak is to the ceiling, and I think we need a change. So here's the lesson. Everyone is going to ghost you until they don't. Everyone is going to make the bad decisions, and even good people. I think there have been so many people I've dated this year who were good people who had just made kak decisions. And maybe that's also the case, and you should hold space for that, but not too much space. Fish where the fish are. That's your next lesson. Fish where the fish are. Babes, you do not need to reinvent the wheel. There's a pond over there. You know that there are salmon, every time this time of year in that pond, so you must go there. Don't go looking in the mud. Why are you looking in the mud? There's no reason. This can be in relationships. This can be in the workspace. You don't need to make your life difficult. I think there's so many people in this life that think I need to have a original idea in order for me to have anything of worth, of substance, to leave my mark. You don't. I don't need to be the first person to start a makeup line, but if I'm the Switch Beauty of makeup, then I'm the Switch Beauty of makeup, and people love me because I'm affordable and I am accessible and feel local. That can be your niche. Find your niche. It exists within you. It lives in you. It lives in me. My last lesson for the day, my loves. My love life is not defined by how much I like someone. It's by how they are showing up. And damn, doesn't that just hit home? I think there have been so many people this year that I have given my time to. You don't know they deserve it until you know they deserve it. But they didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve my time. And I think if I had looked better, more closely at how they were showing up and not at all these boxes that they were ticking, I would have a different perspective. And I hope that's something I carry into the next year. But I don't know, every dating year is different for me. This was the year of me trying out having a roster, having a list of people I am seeing and not just one person at a time. And honestly, I prefer one person at a time. I really do. But when one person at a time is Casper, as I said previously, it's not worth what it leaves a person feeling. I hope that dating changes and that what people bring to a relationship or dating and intentionality changes. But right now, the way we interact with people, that's not cute. It's brain rotting. That's what it is. Rotting my brain for real. But I don't know. Those are the lessons that I've learned in 2024. I'm not at a place where I could say, oh my God, I am the perfect person to give anyone lessons right now. I am in love. I am married. I am in the career of my dreams. I'm growing. I'm learning. And I'm pretty sure that's where most of the people who are listening to this are too. And I wish you nothing but the best for the rest of your December and for 2025. End your year on a high note and go into the new year with, I don't know, that little razzle dazzle. Okay. Love you. Bye.